Hi, I'm Paul, and we're going to do some instinct filled situational awareness training. Now, you do this in a conscious state, so make sure you're still not driving or operating machinery. When you're ready, have a seat, lie down, and then press play. Now, today's theme is around reducing your emotional turbulence and improving your calm behaviour and decision making under pressure. So, when you're ready, you're going to be imagining standing beside a vast, dark sea, fully awake, fully aware, while the cold night air moves through steadily across the shoreline around you. You're going to smell the seawater, see the wet stones, the distant rain drifting in, and the environment, whilst faint, you hear that sound of water moving methodically against the shore, rhythmically. You're going to hear winds travelling softly across the ocean water, the low distant cry of seabirds gulling somewhere across the darkness as you look out. Or just feel that soft pressure of damp sand beneath your feet and your toes. Nothing unusual, just endless movements of sea, coming in, going out, stretching out vastly before you. Now just focus your attention carefully on the movement of the water itself. We just notice the reflection of the moonlight across beneath the night sky, the shifting silver lining across the sea, the dark horizon forming in the distance, and that rhythm of the water approaching and withdrawing along the seashore with the tide. Now your attention is going to settle deeper and deeper into the movement while the rest of the world slowly becomes quieter all around you and the environment surrounding you. The sea is going to begin to absorb your mind, most of the processing resources into the depths of rhythm. Now the sea begins moving, but without waves as you watch on. The entire surface starts flowing towards the shore completely flat, completely motionless, no crashing water, no rising tides, and you can observe that all in your mind. And as you do so, the ocean moves forward, one endless smooth surface, while the sound of the waves continuing echoing through the air, but you can't see the waves, despite the water remains perfectly still. The tide advances silently towards you. The reflections across the water remain unbroken, and the sea continues moving without any kind of disturbance. That cold air surrounding you, now that you feel the shoreline become sharper against your skin, whilst the smell of that salt water, that fish, grows deeper and heavier throughout the environment. You're going to hear the sound of the waves breaking against the shore, even though that sea still remains completely smooth before you. And the wind is going to lower around the coastline just until it's knee height. Wind all down, nothing above. The damp sand beneath your feet softens further while the dark horizon appears ahead, further away than it should be. The water continues advancing silently towards the shore while the sound of movement surrounds the environment without any kind of visible cause. And the more the impossible sea continues moving, the more processing resources redistribute outwards into your expanding sensory environment around you. Your conscious mind immediately tries to stabilize this environment that you're seeing that doesn't make sense, trying to explain how the sea could possibly move without waves, but yet you are visualizing it right now, trying to reconnect the sound to the movement of the water, trying to restore normal physical behavior to the water itself with the power of your mind. But the environment continues violating expectations because now the reflection across the sea begins drifting sideways as you're watching it against the movement of the tide itself, while the sound of the waves grows louder and louder behind you instead of ahead. Just think about that. As the sea keeps advancing, the horizons keep stretching out. And imagine automatically beginning simultaneously processing that impossible environment while conscious narration begins to just quieten down and lose its priority behind all that sensory immersion. As the shoreline begins absorbing more of your attention as you're trying to piece it all together, the distance, the sound, the air, the movement, the depth surrounding you, the tide behind you yet in front of you, while your subconscious exchanges the internal voice for the environment and recognition, you're going to take a moment and allow your subconscious mind to tunnel out into the surroundings around you and just become a part of what you're standing observing, while your conscious mind is still going to be here paying attention to what's going on. You're going to feel that cold air moving across the coastline. The space between the waves no longer exists. The endless depths beyond the horizons, the changing environment, the surrounding water. The environment itself becomes the dominant process in space, and the inner voice is going to just quieten down, lose its intensity, and your subconscious mind is relocated externally as you're just viewing everything, including yourself, just as an observer. And as you do, you see the sea, but don't name it. Don't name anything that's going on around you. You're going to take away all labels, all explanations, and simply recognize everything around you for what it is. See the movement as movement, the distance between things as distance, the sound locating in the sound behind you when it should be in front of you. Recognition happens before the language appears, and as you do all these things, your mind is going to quieten down. All those emotional feelings are going to dissipate, and you already understand that you're now externalizing your mind and you're part of your surrounding environment without any internal description, just being your instinctive self. As this happens, all your processing resources redistribute outwards into the environment itself because you're joined by this tunnel system of your mind, while conscious voice becomes quieter, less dominant, less recognition. And as it tries to re-establish again, when you hear that word come into your mind, you can hear the sea again. The tide suddenly stops completely, while the sound of crashing waves continues moving towards the shore. And that horizon stretches again further and further out as you watch it disappear away from you with your eyes. Cold wind comes in colder, reverses direction across your skin. And now the reflections across the water of the moon begin moving before the sea itself moves at all. How can that happen? The environment's not fully stabilized, yet your subconscious has relocated more processing resources into an expanding sensory environment, while imagination automatically tries to re-engage this simulation once more, quietening down that inner voice, and then you're going to become instinctive in your actions. No more language. Just notice how you're connected to that higher version of yourself where you already know what you know. And notice how the emotional processing begins feeling calmer, quieter, less internal interference, less emotional amplification, less hesitation caused by repeated analysis. You no longer need to analyze anything. And as that subconscious begins organizing your awareness in this external time, recognition, behavioral decisions, making more directly so you become fully awake, calmer and clearer internally. Operations inside the environment around you. Allow yourself to immerse yourself in this environment. Less emotional turbulence, more instinctive recognition as your mind's externalized. And allow yourself to become calm, steady, and balanced, and focus on knowing what you know. When you're ready and you've been in that experience for a while and you've focused and you detach yourself from your emotions, you recognize them but you don't operate by them, you can allow the shoreline to slowly stabilize around you. Keep a part of your processing resource. Reconnect the sound with the movement, the waves, the tide settles down, everything returns to normal. And from here you can go forth knowing you can control your emotional environmental recognition. Now you've reduced your emotional turbulence, and that was me, Paul, for Daily Living. Thanks for your time. See you on the next one. Comment, like if you like the video.